The Premier League returns following 2 weeks of Champions League action, which saw Liverpool's dynamic duo outshone by a Sadio Mane hat-trick. But can he take this form into the domestic league? That and more in this week's Euro Fantasy League preview. Hello, I'm your host Nicholas Carroll, covering some of the most intriguing fantasy clashes across Europe this weekend. Some of the players we've highlighted have been winners in recent weeks, so we're looking to keep this form going and provide some more worthwhile considerations moving forward. We start as always in the Premier League, looking at Liverpool's match at home to West Ham United. The Reds have had over a week's break since their 5-0 Champions League rout of Porto and will be fresh for their league return.
The usual suspects of Mohamed Salah and Roberto Firmino are of course always a fantasy consideration. However, Sadio Mane has once again put his hand up after scoring a Champions League hat-trick last week. While Premier League goals have been lacking for the Senegalese attacker, and he does know how to waste a chance or two, his ability to get into scoring positions provides a constant threat to oppositions, and we could see a return to domestic league form.
Meanwhile, West Ham continued their recent form, having lost just one league game in their last 8, scoring in every one of those games.
Marko Arnautovic has led the charge in front of goal with 4 goals and 3 assists in his last 5 league appearances, while Javier Hernandez has chipped in with goals in his last 2 matches. New arrival João Mario has looked good for the Hammers, grabbing an assist on debut. However, a value of 9.5 million all but rules him out of fantasy consideration.
Next, we take a look at two sides who probably haven't been on your fantasy radar, however have added some intrigue to the Premier League in recent weeks. It's Brighton at home to Swansea.
The Seagulls' best for the season, Pascal Grosch, has seen his return slow down over the past couple months. However, the transfer of Jurgen Lakadia from PSV is an interesting one. The striker arrived with 9 goals scored in this season's Eredivisie and scored on debut in their FA Cup win over Coventry. Certainly one to keep an eye on.
Meanwhile, the Swans continued their resurgence, unbeaten in 5 and benefiting from a significant sharpening of their defence, with 2 clean sheets from their last 4 league matches.
The likes of Lucas Fabianski has benefited in front of goal, while Kyle Norton adds the potential for assists to any clean sheet returns. With Brighton followed by West Ham, Huddersfield and Southampton, Swansea investment could be a short-term point of difference.
We finished the Premier League with arguably the match of the round, Manchester United at home to Chelsea. United bounced back from a 1-0 loss to Newcastle with a solid 2-0 defeat of Huddersfield in the FA Cup. Romelu Lukaku grabbing a brace, while Alexis Sanchez and Juan Mata provided an assist apiece.
The new combinations seem to be coming together well. However, following their midweek Champions League clash, this will be their 3rd match in 9 days. While Jose Mourinho will look to play his best 11, he may need to look to his bench sooner than usual.
Chelsea have been hard to predict of late, however 7 goals in their last 2 domestic matches, followed by a draw against Barcelona, has shown some good form.
In their 4-0 FA Cup rout of Hull, Willian grabbed a double while Olivier Giroud scored 1 and provided 2 assists. The Brazilian followed this with a goal against Barca, and having scored 8 and 10 EFL points in his last 2 league starts, frustrated managers will be hoping he demands more minutes. Meanwhile, Giroud has impressed early and is already demanding more minutes than Alvaro Morata, potentially moving ahead in the pecking order. We can probably expect a relatively tight match, though it might be worth noting the away side has failed to score in the club's last 4 clashes.
Over in Serie A, Roma have moved back up into 3rd position, however will now face Gennaro Gattuso's flying AC Milan outfit.
Last week we covered the form of Cengiz Ünder, and the Turkish youngster scored yet again in their victory over Udinese with a stunning strike from outside the box. That makes it 4 goals from 3, and he remains a very tempting purchase option. Meanwhile, Raja Nangolan looks to be enjoying a more advanced position in a 4-2-3-1 formation, picking up a weekend assist while showing off a fiery new hairstyle which unfortunately earns no extra fantasy points.
Milan are back. 5 wins from 6 and undefeated in 7, Gattuso is starting to reap rewards from his squad.
2 consecutive clean sheets have provided strong returns for Gianluigi Donnarumma in goal, while Davide Calabria provides a constant threat down the right flank, and the defender will certainly be looking to add to his 3 assists for the season. Meanwhile, Giacomo Bonaventura scored his 5th goal of the season on the weekend, and his ability to get into great positions provides massive potential at just 4.5 million. Though Rossoneri buyers beware, Roma and Inter provide 2 tough challenges ahead.
Moving to La Liga, we focus in on a clash between 2 top 5 teams, Sevilla at home to Atletico Madrid. The Andalusians have picked up 2 consecutive wins to earn some breathing room in the top 6 places.
A couple weeks ago we looked at Pablo Sarabia valued at just 2.5 million. Any managers who jumped on would be cheering, with the Spaniard scoring in his last 3 league matches and providing attacking returns in his last 5.
Though Atletico Madrid will no doubt provide a much tougher route to goal. Los Colchoneros have now produced 4 consecutive league clean sheets, placing Jan Oblak as Eurofantasy League's 2nd highest scorer overall.
Up front, Kevin Gamiro continues to demand more consistent starting positions after coming from the bench to grab a goal and an assist in just 31 minutes against Athletic Bilbao. This came off the back of a Champions League goal against FC Copenhagen, and the Frenchman will no doubt be eager to start this weekend's clash. His compatriot Antoine Griezmann meanwhile has continued to provide consistent returns, grabbing at least a goal or an assist in 6 of his last 7 appearances in all competitions.
That's it from me. However, if you haven't yet got your full fantasy fix, there is a new Euro Fantasy League podcast out this week, so be sure to join Jamie McLean and Dave Fenwick as they talk all things Premier League, La Liga and Serie A with, of course, a fantasy twist. Or for all your other news, head over to eurofantasyleague.com. Otherwise, until next time, good luck with your teams.